Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NFL Thoughts. So, I'm getting this video out earlier than usual. So obviously tomorrow's game day again. And this game, as much as Mike McCarthy, tries to proclaim that, this game doesn't really, that much matter to him, it's just another game. He just continues to say it's just another game. It's just another game. It's a damn lie. He's going back to Lambeau Field. He's going back to a place where they didn't want him. A place where they left him for dead and said, we want you out of here. Your services are no longer required. And here we are, last year, 12-5 season. This year, we're 6-2, and the halfway point of the season. And, well, McCarthy and his team is in the position that they're in, and Rodgers and the Packer faithful are in the position that they're in. And he's looking to go in there and absolutely kick the living dog crap out of the Packers. So, he can, like I said, he continues to proclaim it to the media that this game doesn't mean anything. But inside, you know that this game means everything to him. To go back to Lambeau Field and kick the Green Bay Packers' tail. So, yeah. And he's got the team to do it. He's got the team that he'll rally behind. Will lead him to victory. That's all he wants. Guys, I want y'all to win this. I'm gonna win this for us, but this team wants to win this for him. I know, kind of confusing, but nonetheless, yeah. So the Packers are 3-6, so they have a whole lot to lose. They lose this game to drop to 3-7. And they can basically kiss their playoff hopes goodbye. So, yeah, we're looking to, end the Packers season in style. So, like I said before in a recent video, That's Good Sports, Brandon Perna, said the only way that the Cowboys drop and fall in his power rankings is if we don't beat the Packers by at least 3 touchdowns. Okay. Well, okay. I promise you we're going to live up to the challenge. So, yeah. Ezekiel's going to be back healthy. There's a lot of pieces that are going to be getting back healthier, and Anthony Barr was limited today during practice, but it was said that Damone Clark, the rookie, will start, again in his place, but we don't know if he'll be starting the next game after that, though. Probably not, because then Anthony Barr gets to get revenge on the Minnesota Vikings, his old team, and he can get revenge on them. So, yeah, a lot of revenge games, but, funny enough, no team has had more revenge games than the Eagles this year, It started when they had to, it started when they had to play Carson Wentz, and they smoked that Carson Wentz pack and out the door. Then it was Doug Peterson. Then it was Zach Ertz. And then it was Jason Peters. Yeah. So, they've been having a lot of revenge games this year, but for the Cowboys, well, this week and then next week is going to be a revenge game. Mike McCarthy's revenge game against the Green Bay Packers, and then Anthony Barr's revenge game against the Minnesota Vikings. So he's going to be ramped up, for that game. Nonetheless, I've done a little too much talking. Let's get down to the predictions. I've done a whole lot of talking, so we're going to speed through this a little bit. Just a tad bit. I already kind of have my idea, though, of, everybody's predictions. But Dak Prescott is going to, in my opinion, he's going to pass between 225 and 245 passing yards in this game. Now, it's normally a guarantee that Dak's going to always throw for at least 200 yards, even in cold weather games. But he's never really been known for, really going off in a cold weather game, other than last year in the regular season finale against the Philadelphia Eagles, where he threw 5 touchdown passes. Amazing. But other than that, he's normally not known for really going off in cold weather games. And I feel like this will be no exception, but he will have a pretty good performance because I also have him throwing 3 touchdown passes. I have him throwing 3 touchdown passes. This is going to be his first 3 touchdown pass game of the year. He had 3 total touchdowns last game against the Bears, where he threw a couple and he ran for 1. But I think in this game he's gonna throw all 3 touchdown passes. And now let's get to Ezekiel Elliott. I was gonna say he's gonna get his first 100-yard game of the season, but I feel like that would be pushing it a little bit. I'm going to say he's going to get between 75 and 90 yards rushing, in this game. Because Zeke does have a way of seeming to be getting those consistent 60, 70-yard rushing games every week, And I will be the first to tell you, he's averaging 63 yards rushing so far this year. He's on pace to go for 1,000. I will be the first to tell you that I think that not only will he be able to keep that pace up, I think he'll be able to exceed that pace and finish with 70 yards rushing a game. I will say right now, I think that Ezekiel Elliott will finish with 1,100 yards rushing this year. I absolutely believe that. I completely believe that Ezekiel Elliott's going to rush for 1,100 yards rushing by the end of this year. And then the Joneses are going to be like, we need to keep all right, we'll keep him. We're not going to release him. We're going to hold him for 1 more year. So at least 1 more year. So yeah, I have him getting between 75 and 90 yards rushing in his first game back. I don't want to push it as far as saying he's going to get his first 100-yard game of the season, being the fact that he's just coming back from missing a game against the Bears with a knee injury. The jury is still up on what the injury really officially was. But nonetheless, so I don't want to push it as far as saying that he's going to get his first 100-yard game of the year. But I think we are going to have 2 running backs that are going to go off in this game. Absolutely. I got Tony Pollard rushing for around 90 yards rushing in this game. As a team, I have us getting a total of 170 yards rushing. Or 180. How about that? I have us getting at least 180 yards rushing in this game. We're going to run with Zeke. We're going to run with Pollard. And maybe Dak might even get into the mix and probably run maybe a couple of times. But nonetheless, yeah, so that's how I have us doing in the ground game. CD Lamb, he's going up against Jair Alexander, a good corner. I'm going to have CD Lamb, though. He's quietly been a top 5 wide receiver this year. That's the thing. Like, he's 9th in the NFL in receiving yards. And in 5 of those games, he didn't have his starting quarterback. So, yeah. I'm going to say that CD Lamb, he's not going to quite get 100, but I'm going to say he's going to get between, 80 and 95. You know, I'm going to say that. He's going to get between 80 and 95. So, yeah. Michael Gallup, I'm not going to really make a prediction for him. But yeah, so I have the entire offense. I have us getting at least 400 yards of total offense in this game. I have us getting at least 400 yards of offense because I feel like we're starting to click. Offensively with that game against Chicago. 49 points, that's the most that any team has scored in a game all year. So yeah, I feel like the offense is starting to click. The Packers do have a better defense than Chicago. Chicago just had a really good pass defense. That's the only thing they had going for them. But the Packers are actually a pretty solid defense. I'm not going to lie. You know? So, I'm not going to go crazy as far as saying that we're going to, you know, have the same type of offensive performance we had against Chicago as far as points as well. But I do know we are definitely going to be rolling in that game. I know that. And now to the defensive side of the ball. I think Micah Parsons is going to get a sack in this game. I do believe he's going to get a sack in this game. I'll be quite honest with you. This is the best offensive line that we're going to go up against so far this year. Because the Eagles, they have given up 17, 18 sacks so far this year. So really, how good is their offensive line if they're giving up that many sacks? Especially when we played them and we sacked them 4 times. Yeah. So I don't know if they are all that as an offensive line. But real talk, the best offensive line we've played this year really was the Detroit Lions offensive line. And we managed to get to Jared Goff 4 times. So we still have a really, really good pass rush. The only problem is that I think that in my opinion, that Jared Goff doesn't have a quick release really. Aaron Rodgers does. He can get the ball out of his hands quick. All right, you know, he's got that quick release, you know. So they have a better offensive line. Now, however, I will say that I think the Lions do have a better offensive line than the Packers, so that's what we have going for us as far as an advantage standpoint. But what the Packers have an advantage on is that Aaron Rodgers does have a way quicker release than Jared Goff. Jared Goff is going to hold on to that ball a little longer than Aaron Rodgers will. Rodgers will get that ball out of his hand, you know, quick, you know, So, I don't think we're, in my opinion, I think we're going to probably have to get a lot of coverage sacks on Aaron Rodgers. But then again, he's also known for his throwaways. I'm going to say that in this game, we're going to get 3 sacks. I know we've been getting at least 4 sacks a game so far this year. But I'm going to say we're going to get 3 sacks in this game. You know? Like, I think we'll get home. We're going to get home. Trust me, we're going to get home. But I think because Rodgers has a quicker release, he'll be able to slow down our pass rush just a little bit with the fact that he can get the ball out of his hands quicker than other quarterbacks. So I think we'll get to the quarterback 3 times in this game. I think we'll get to Rodgers 3 times, and one of those times is going to be by Micah Parsons. I think D-Law will get a sack in this game. Shout out to D-Law, man. Last game, he got his first sack again for the first time since that Giants game. He's been doing very well, though, as far as run support. So I feel like he doesn't get as much credit as he should. But nonetheless, yeah, I have him getting a sack in this game. And then I'll be quite honest with you. I think Sam Williams is going to get another sack. He got 2 against the Lions, but I think he's going to get another one in this game against the Packers. I believe he's going to get a sack in this game. So I have us getting 3 sacks on Aaron Rodgers, 1 by Micah Parsons, 1 by D-Law, and 1 by Sam Williams. Because I just don't think we're not sacking Aaron Rodgers like 5 times or whatever, like we've been doing in, other games, previous games. Because this is a better Packers offensive line, and Rodgers does have a quicker release than Jared Goff, who, while the Lions, like I said, do have a better offensive line than the Packers do, Jared Goff doesn't have as quick of a release. Rodgers is going to get that ball out of his hand. So, yeah, I have us getting to the quarterback 3 times. But as far as the defense, I'll be quite honest with you. I think that we're going to... I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I think that they're probably going to get at least 100 yards rushing on us. I'm just being upfront with you. I hope that's not the case. Like, I hope that this is going to be the game that our run defense has a bit of a turning point, and from this point on, our run defense is just going to be awesome. I hope and pray that that's the case. But as of right now, I have the Packers getting at least 100 yards rushing in this game. Yeah. But on the passing side of things, we're going to hold Aaron Rodgers to under 200 yards passing. I have the Packers getting probably under 300 yards of total offense. I think we're going to hold Rodgers to under 200 yards passing. Trust me, he's not the first quarterback. He's not going to be the first quarterback this year that we've held to under 200 yards passing, because trust me, almost every quarterback we've played this year hasn't been able to get 200 yards passing. I believe one this year got 200 yards passing, and no, it was not Joe Burrow. No, it was not Tom Brady. No, it definitely was not Jalen Hurts. I believe it was Jared Goff. I believe Jared Goff is the only quarterback so far this year that has been able to throw for at least 200 yards passing on our defense. But other than that, no one has been able to get 200 yards passing on this defense. But nonetheless, we're going to get 3 sacks. I think we're going to hold them to under 300 yards passing. I think Rodgers doesn't throw picks. That's the thing. I mean, he threw 3 last week against the Lions, so maybe the jury is up on that. I think we'll pick him off once, but I think we'll get a sack fumble on him, which it's going to be by D-Law. I have us getting 2 takeaways. Two takeaways. One that's going to be an interception and one that's going to be a sack fumble. I think we're going to beat the Packers 35-14. I have us beating the Packers 35-14. No. I have us beating the Packers 35-10. How about that? We're going to beat the Packers 35-10. So, that has been my time. Like, subscribe. This is NFL Thoughts. Out.